Let me start by saying two things. One, we aren't super high earners. We can save this on a joint income of around £3,000 per month. Two, it took work to get to this point, but you can make it happen for you too. I was raised on the power of saving money. This is my parents' bread and butter, their go-to in financial education. When I got my first job, aged 16 and 1 month, my mum told me to save half because then it would last me twice as long. And she wasn't wrong, and that advice has served me well. Welcome to the Looking After Your Pennies YouTube channel. My name is Charlotte Jessup and I am passionate about financial education. Most people that I talk to about money say they wish they could save more. They have big money goals and being able to save more money would make a big difference. Naturally, there are lots of components involved and it's not something you will decide to do after watching this video and then it magically happens. For us, it was a process of routinely scrutinising our finances, and this is something that we continue to do month by month. If you are looking to up your savings rate, then I recommend that you follow these steps. Number 1, create a disaster budget. Number 2, set some goals. Number 3, identify areas that need improving. Number 4, build some systems. And number 5, increase your income. Now, let me explain these in a little more detail. So that first one, creating a disaster budget. So a disaster budget is sometimes called a bare bones budget. It is the absolute minimum that you and your family need to survive financially. Imagine that you've lost your job and you need to cut out everything you can. What would be left in your budget? Now, chances are there would be things like your mortgage or your rent, your council tax, gas, electricity, food, and other items left on there. When you first do this, you'll probably have other costs too, such as a car payment, car insurance, gym membership. Some of these will be luxuries and others will be necessities, but they can be reduced, eliminated, or at least managed differently over time to your advantage. This budget shows you where you are making financial choices. What would be on here is the basics, so that means that the difference between this and your income are the financial choices you're making every month. This might only be a few pounds at this stage, or it could be hundreds or thousands, but you need to understand what spare money you have each month. Number 2, set some goals. A lot of people will create their disaster budget and then go, right, that's it, we're saving X number of hundreds a month now. Well, that won't work, unfortunately. I've tried being that person. It's really hard to save when you don't know why you are doing it. Imagine that you have decided to save some more money every month. You get invited out for dinner or see a bargain city break or a pair of boots that you love. What is going to stop you from spending your money on any of those things? Literally, the money will be sitting there with no purpose and no good enough reason to stop you from spending it. And these moments will happen multiple times a month. You are going to need some goals to make sure that those savings stay saved. Our savings don't all go into savings. We split the money up into different parts depending on how we want to use it. Most goes into investments. Some goes towards overpaying our mortgage. Some goes in the kids' junior ISA accounts. Some to future holidays, plus a few other little pots and places too. Each of these is motivational to us. When given the choice between a takeaway or paying into our kids' accounts, I choose their accounts. Quick weekend getaway versus epic family holiday, the family holiday wins out. Now, your motivations may be different, but they need to be important enough to you to make you want to save. Number 3, identify some areas that need improving. The best place to start is with the things that matter least and will have the biggest impact. Let me give you an example of this. If your mortgage deal has ended, but you haven't looked around for a lower rate, then there is a great place to start. It won't impact the quality of your life and it will give you some more money in your pocket. Same with things like energy bills. You don't get worse electricity if you pay less for it. Electricity is electricity, so you might as well get it for cheap. You can also look at some of your luxury purchases. Are there any subscriptions that you have going out that you aren't using? What about your food spends? If you get to the end of the week and you have no food waste, then you're probably doing something right. If you're regularly throwing food away or pop into the shop every day for dinner, then you probably have scope for improvement. This is not going to be something that happens all in one go. You might have to wait until a contract ends or something needs renewing before you get the opportunity to reduce it. Alternatively, you might have to reduce your spending in one area slowly so that it doesn't feel like a huge amount of restriction all in one go. Just remember, every time you check on your budget to look for new areas that you can improve. For us, this month, it's our mobile phone contracts and our broadband. Number 4, build systems. I have kind of already been hinting at this one, but you need to know where you want the money to go. You've got goals, but how are you going to make sure that the money goes towards those goals? Creating separate savings accounts or spaces for different goals can help. Let me give you some examples. You could have some sinking fund pots for things like Christmas, holidays, car payments such as tax, insurance, etc., so that you can pay these ones annually. There might be other things that you want to use your savings for, such as investing, mortgage overpayments, and these will have their own accounts already. Then you might want a space for bigger goals, such as a house deposit or that trip to Disney World with the kids. Now, most banks will allow you to set up payments to happen automatically. Therefore, no relying on you to log on like once a month, once a week, and transfer the money yourself. You just need to remember that in some cases, such as mortgage overpayments or paying into junior ISAs, that it might not be easy or even possible to get the money back once you've made that payment. Make sure you do your research in this area so that you know where you are putting your money and what you're doing. Especially if you're looking into things like investments, make sure that you understand the risks involved with doing so. Number 5, increase your income. This is the number one way to increase the amount that you are able to save, and you can do it without needing to change anything about what you are currently doing. There are lots of ways that you can do this. You could make sure that the money you are currently receiving is tax efficient. So things like using ISAs for your investments and your savings, or looking to see if you're entitled to things like marriage tax allowance. You could also look to make sure that you're getting all the benefits that you're entitled to. I have worked with people in the past who weren't claiming child benefit, even though they could have been getting this for like years. The next step is to look at your current employment. Could you ask for a pay rise, increase your hours, or seek a promotion? After that, there are always side hustles, and I have loads of videos that can help you out with these. When you combine cost-cutting measures with increasing your income, that's where the magic happens. You get to make more decisions about what happens with your money, and you can send more and more towards your savings. For us, we're about 5 or 6 years down the line of cutting back our costs. We have our monthly spends down to a minimum and pay annually via sinking funds for as much as we can. This gives us at least $1,500 a month to choose to save or invest or do whatever we like with. Sometimes it's even more than this, depending on how well my business is going. So, how could you increase your savings rate? Could you cut back in some areas, create some new goals, or increase your income? Let me know your strategy in the comments, and whilst you're there, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will catch you in the next video. Bye!